weekend. What have I got in today's program? Very interesting program, as it always is with Africa. There's a lot of expectation that usually comes with it. Now, as you're all aware, Kenya goes to the polls in 2022, and it's a very exciting year for Kenyans because they have to get a new man in office. Now, what is new in Kenya's election next year? Who is who among the Kenyan political players who might emerge victorious next year? Now, among the leading political parties expected to do well in the polls is the Orange Democratic Movement, ODM, led by Raila Odinga, a veterinary politician, whose late father, Oginga Odinga, was Kenya's first vice president. On several occasions, the party formed in 2005 came close to winning the elections. This time around, many Kenyans believe the party will go all the way. Remember, all the way. Now, whatever happens next year, one thing is clear. The country will have a new president, as the current president, Uhuru Kenyatta, is not standing again. Africa is looking forward to who that might be. Now, before we go further, let's have a short break.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it, yeah.
At World Remit, we understand what the journey is about. How it can sometimes take a little distance to bring us a little closer together. With ways to save more when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them. At World Remit, we understand what the journey is about. How it can sometimes take a little distance to bring us a little closer together. With ways to save more when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Now, like in most African politics, there is quite a lot that we have to learn and a lot that we have to look forward to. And as far as Kenya is concerned, there is a lot that we have to look forward to, especially in terms that the way the constitution was drafted and the issues that have been in the previous governments that haven't really been in position to do that the previous government hasn't done. But the key thing in today's program is to do with the Orange Democratic Movement, ODM. What does it stand for? And as far as Kenyans are concerned, what is ODM? These are some of the things that we're going to learn in today's program. And with me in the studio is Mr. Sam Okoya, a chartered insurer, ex-British Army Forces, 2005, 2013, and current interim Secretary General of Orange Democratic Movement, ODM, chapter here in the UK. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me again, Steve.
Okay. Now, I want us to start by making a definition. What is Orange Democratic Movement? Why is it a movement? And it's a political party, but why is it orange? Why is it orange? What are its origins?
Yeah.
I mean, we can understand with KANU and all the other parties that have been in existence, the names, but why orange?
Well, Steve, perhaps I start by giving you a very brief history of the Kenyan politics and to the point where we now have multi-party.
Yeah.
Yeah. Initially, soon after independence, Kenya was a single-party state.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even by then they were allowed to have like other parties, but the people, the leaders at that time felt a bit insecure,
Okay.
and they abolished the need to have many parties and put that in constitution.
Yeah.
And with that, they had absolute power, and they mutilated the old constitution at independence.
Okay.
And that is what led to a lot of struggles for freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of a lot of things in Kenya, which were kind of banned by the single party.
Okay.
And fast forward to ODM. In 2005, when Kenya wanted a change of constitution, that is after the repeal of Section 2A. This was done in late 90s or early 90s.
Okay.
Yeah, and the repeal of that Section 2A is the one that actually barred the existence of other parties. Basically declaring Kenya a single party state. And still a lot more needed to be done after the repeal of that section.
Okay.
The constitution wasn't good enough, and it was open to mutilation at will by the people in power. Yeah, and there was a lot of suppression of freedom of many people, and that is when many Kenyans sacrificed their time, energy, and resources to make sure that there are fundamental changes to the constitution. Yeah, in effect, they wanted a total overhaul and a full total overhaul of the entire constitution.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then about sometimes about in 2005. Yeah, there was a commission that was tasked to draft a constitution, and they came up with different drafts. This one called Boma's draft. This one called the different drafts.
Yeah.
And the leaders at that time, about 2005, wanted Kenya constitution to change, to the one draft, which wasn't good enough. And therefore, there was a referendum.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
The referendum, and that was basically yes and no, whereby yes, which was symbolized by banana.
Okay, yeah.
And no was symbolized by orange.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so it was just to make people on the ground, the Wanjiko, the people right down in the villages,
so it kind of it's easier to see the symbol.
Absolutely, kind of understand. Do you want a banana or do you want an orange?
An orange, yeah.
So that went through, and the no, which was the orange, actually won on the referendum.
Okay.
Yeah, and that question didn't get changed because the no said no, we want change, but we don't want what you're giving us. It's not good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is the genesis of orange, and that is why it's called orange. The party itself, and. With that no, the government had to go back on the drawing board with all other stakeholders. And people involved were redesign the constitution again. Okay. Yeah, and it got surprised. It didn't come to see the light of the day. Yeah, and Kenya kept moved on. Like Kenyans like moving on. They moved on from that with the constitution, all other things that they are talking about. And then come the election of 2007, which was the turning point. Because now the people who championed no and said, okay, we beat the banana, the orange people said, we've beaten them once. We're going to beat them again. And bring the election now, with the constitution as it is, and then we will beat you with it. So the team formed the Orange Democratic Movement. So it is a movement. Which is bigger than a party. You can be a party of another. You can be a member of another small party, but you still belong to like this movement, this big movement of ODM. So that is the genesis of the Orange Democratic Movement as a party. And I think if I answer your question, what is the genesis and where did we begin? That is how it began, and brought us to where we are at the moment. Okay.
Now, I've looked at the manifestos of most of the parties. And I've looked at the manifesto of ODM. And it's very interesting. It's a very strong manifesto. It has a very big budget. But the problem is achieving that budget, because somewhere in the constitution, in the manifesto, there is no raising taxes. No raising taxes. And then at the same time, they said, oh, we don't want to borrow money from the World Bank or this major organization. Kenya is going to be sufficient, Kenya is going to do this, Kenya is going to sell that, blah, blah, blah. But the biggest problem that is going to happen with this is these are like unachievable. There's an unachievable goal within the manifesto, which anybody can see and say, well, okay, I'm not disputing it, but the issue of not borrowing and the issue of not increasing taxes, but when you have to cover a lot that this current government in Kenya has failed to achieve, is where Kenyans are finding that the balance is not coming out. Because even the British government, Johnson said he would never raise taxes. Suddenly, coronavirus, this, that, and the taxes are up.
Yeah.
How is this going to, the party manifesto going to live up to that expectation of ordinary Kenyans? Because sooner or later, if they get in, they have to do something about that budget.
Yeah, good question, Steve. Yeah, and the issue of raising taxes, to be honest, shouldn't be the only way of generating funds, income for the government. Yeah. And ODM is very cognizant of that. Yeah, and what the manifesto says, and I believe you've read it, is that the ODM will try as much as possible to avoid maybe increasing taxes year on the people. Okay. Yeah, but there are other avenues of generating these funds. Yeah, for example, if the party plans to invest in infrastructure. Okay. Yeah, and if you invest in infrastructure, there's a lot of money coming through. Yeah, we got landlocked countries that depends on Kenyan port. Yeah, that is Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, and Sudan, the southern Sudan, and even if you look at the Congo, the western,
part of Congo,
the eastern part of Congo is all. It all depends on the movement of goods from Kenyan port to that end. So there are a lot of ways and means of generating funds, just being one of them. Number two, there are quite substantial money unaccounted for, which is kind of robbed from the Kenyan public. Corruption. Corrupt. Corrupt people got money outside the country. Some of them got a lot of money in safes in their houses. You know, the ODM, which is actually a pillar of democracy. In my view, we will put in place some structures and processes by which they can reclaim this money. If it was meant for public and for some reason it ended in wrong hands. The structure will be there. The anti-corruption authority will be given all the powers they need to investigate. And then
could there be something new that ODM has to bring in to fight corruption? Because I think Uhuru Kenyatta has tried and failed.
He has tried, but I am sure Uhuru didn't fail. It's just lack of cooperation from his number two, who, in the view of many Kenyans, is they call him the high priest of corruption. So Mheshimiwa Uhuru, as an honorable, in my view, he hasn't failed in that fight. Because there's a time he even suggested that people need to have like self-audit of what the public have, but that faced a lot of opposition from within. So having asked, are there any other ways where ODM government will get more funds, which is not from taxation or investing in infrastructure that can bring in money? ODM also plans to invest a lot in the citizens. And investing in citizens, and they got a very beautiful policy on youth agenda, and I will talk about that. Investing in people and making the business environment conducive for even investors. And when investors comes along, that means the economy kicks off. And there's money flowing in the country. So there is a lot of ways that the government of ODM party is going to go around. I
want us to come back to you now. You are an aspirant politician who is going to be a member of parliament. You're campaigning to be a member of parliament for your area in Kenya. It's not an easy task, especially if you haven't lived in Kenya for a very long time. How confident are you that you're going to be the next? Maybe next year I see you'll be a member of parliament in Kenya. How confident and are you, and what plans have you got? Because some people have tried from here, from going to Uganda, and they failed. Others have tried. I know one who came from America and went to Uganda and did their campaigns, and he lost a lot of money, and he still failed to go through.
Yeah.
It's a tedious task. How are you going to make it?
Yes, Steve.
Yeah?
It is a tedious.
Yeah.
But it is doable. People have done it.
People
have done it. And there are people that I can look up to and say he made it. Somebody like former Raila Odinga MP somewhere who was living in the United States.
Yeah.
He went there. He won it. Yeah. So I would be the first one and to go back.
Yeah.
And I've been going to Kenya very often. At least once a year. So it's not that I've lost touch with what is happening down on the ground. Yeah. So what perhaps I will do different from the other people that has been there is that I have a secretariat in place already.
Okay.
Yeah. And my team are clear on the strategies. I have a manifesto that goes surrounding the word Ugonja.
Okay.
Yeah, with you.
Ugonja, by the way.
Ugonja is
sickness in Kenya, in Swahili. Yeah, Ugonja.
Ugunja.
Ugunja.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, not Ugonja.
Not Ugonja. Ugunja.
Ugunja. Okay.
Yeah. So, and my team does understand how to break this manifesto down to the people. Yeah, because it's people, there are only about five letters that I want to concentrate on, and this will make Ugunja a different constituency.
Okay.
Yeah, number one being I wanted like a unity of purpose, uniting the people of Ugonja. Yeah, whereby you can stand up and even support one of your own if they are in dire need.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm also doing that by channeling funds where I can, educating kids, primary 6.
Oh yeah, you've got that in place.
I got a few kids in secondary schools that I'm educating directly from here.
These are orphans.
Yeah, majority are orphans. Some are single parents. Some are just from very low income parents.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm trying to balance because you can have orphan, but who is very able, God like very able step or uncles or aunties who can support them. And you have somebody who go parents, but the parents doesn't have anything to support. So yeah, I support kids. That doesn't look at where they come from. Yeah, but my team on the ground does the due diligence.
Income is the bigger thing. The budget. Because if you don't have a very strong budget when you're going in. I've seen my friend Alistair Sawyer try to live here. The proprietor of Ben TV and Nigeria to become president of Nigeria. When I interviewed him here, he was telling me, oh man, if you don't have enough money, you can't, if you're campaigning in Africa. The expectation is such that wherever you're going, the expectation is they're looking at you and they want you to get the money out for either buying people beers, buying people this, and secondly is the campaign, everything depends on you. It's not like somebody who is there who can maybe have people on the ground who even sacrifice and do certain things without expecting him to pay for those things. Because when you come from here, there's that element that you already have the money. Now,
yes, Dave.
How are you going to handle that? That's the biggest thing I think you're going to face.
That is a perception.
Yeah.
It is what it is. We can't run away from it. I might have or might not have.
Okay.
But it is the perception that many people do have, especially if you're coming out from outside the country. Yeah, then you got enough. Yeah, I have a budget for my campaigns.
Okay.
And I also do have some people who are supporting me that are into this and they want to bring it.
Okay.
Yeah, and also where I come from, Ugunja got 3 wards, and there is element of the other people have had their chance. Now it is our time. Let's bring ourselves, our own also to see what we can get.
Okay.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean that the incumbent hasn't done a good job. No, he's done a brilliant job.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's also people asking, you've done good job for 10
years. Let's get someone else.
Yeah, you've done 10 years. Let's get somebody else. Perhaps we get fresh blood. Some
with fresh ideas.
Absolutely. some fresh ideas, some new thinking coming across. And they're saying, with some, he's somebody who is gone around the globe. He is well informed. You can bring ideas that maybe somebody in Kenya wouldn't bring on the table, or things that is unachievable. But from where I sit, having seen it happen in different places that have been, I know it can be done. So all
the best as far as that is concerned. Now there is something else which most Kenyans are looking at, and this is something that I've made inquiry with almost every Kenyan I've found here. The failure, obviously, of the government of BPI was the major issue of the failure of the. Everybody had that thing in mind that the government was going to win that case, but it lost the court case. Looking at it, would you, if you become a member of parliament tomorrow, support BPI? Would you?
Steve?
Or you would go with the policies of the party? Because there has to be something in there that the government is trying, that people had seen, which wasn't really going to work.
Steve, the ruling by the Court of Appeal on the BBI and the previous ruling of the Supreme Court on nullifying the elections of President Uhuru in 2017 tells you that Kenya has a very strong judiciary. The judiciary that is independent, that can do their work devoid of manipulation from whichever quarter. So that gives me confidence that whenever I have an issue or a conflict with somebody else, I've got somebody to run to who will be impartial, irrespective of where I am, who I am. So as much as from where I sit, the ODM chapter UK and the people of the ODM party globally, as much as we wanted BBI to go through, but the court have said because of A, B, C, D, and it was detailed. Some of them, I might agree with them, some of them, and a lot of them I don't agree with. But I got to accept that the supreme law of the land
goes with it.
I've said
what I'm
that
trying to
is
say
it.
here, could there be some way in which you might say, can we change? It's like when you are changing the constitution and you are saying we are not actually, we are amending it, or we are putting something else in place to affect like leadership and so on. I mean, the way it was put, others are saying it should go straight the way it was. And others are saying one of the reasons it's failed is that people are saying, no, it won't work. We don't like it. But if you do A, B, C, D. Now, that's what I'm trying to find out. If there are any changes into it, will it work?
To answer your question, Steve, it is doable. The members of parliament themselves can pick up the points from the BBI that they really think matters or they want to champion, and they can bring in as a members bill in parliament. It can be debated and can be changed and can be passed, and the government can append to it and sign. A lot of things in BBI, even though BBI was to like do everything in one go, but a lot of things can be done in piecemeal, where you can sponsor, the government can sponsor a bill that we need to change this section of the constitution to look into A, B, C, D. And when government sponsors a bill, obviously the people in the government need to support it through. Or opposition can also pick one point and say, hey, we are now agree that BBI is not going to come back. But this part of it, we like it. Because why it does reflect well with people with where I come from. And they can bring bills that champions those parts of the legislation.
Well, I want us to come back to the issue of COVID-19. We mentioned it a little bit. It has affected Kenya, and it definitely has affected most of Africa. When you look at the next year's election, wouldn't this be a problem again as well? As far as COVID, could COVID have changed the landscape of what's going on in Kenya as well?
Absolutely not, Steve. Absolutely not.
Vote here?
Absolutely not.
No?
Not at all. Uganda, Tanzania, United States, recently Zambia, all went through elections during this COVID pandemic time. And the results were as good as they were announced.
Yeah.
People have accepted whatever was decided by the people on the
Okay,
ground.
okay.
So I don't see COVID stopping Kenyans going into election.
No.
Not at all.
The election will go ahead. But
Yeah.
I'm saying the outcome of the election, could it be easily decided? Because people are watching now and are saying, okay, what did the government do? Or what did these parties are all mentioning different methods of combating COVID-19.
Yeah.
Now, people are also watching and are saying, no, I think I believe what Sam is saying. No, I don't believe what Uhuru is saying. So somewhere along the way, that's what I'm saying. Could it affect the outcome in a sense that people who don't believe in what the other person is saying could go vote the other way? So there are other factors that will affect the election. But this might be one of them.
To be honest, Steve, I don't think the COVID is even something that the IEBC are thinking about.
Okay.
Yeah, that it can fundamentally stop everything going forward and stop even election. If anything, the global pandemic is going down.
Don't get me wrong. Not to stop the election.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that
I'm coming there.
As part of the change, as part of the landscape, and where people are saying, we heard what you are saying, but we didn't like your idea on COVID, or how you want us to fight COVID. I think I like his idea better, because already they're telling Uhuru, you haven't done enough. You haven't done enough to we need more vaccine. We need so the landscape of Africa and the landscape of other areas are all being even here in UK. They're being determined by what COVID has done. But because COVID is here, Johnson hasn't done enough. Therefore, people are saying, hey, should we give this guy another vote? You get my point.
I get your point. But where I sit, there are three C's that I think could be worrying Kenyans more than COVID. See, number one being corruption in the Kenya.
Okay.
If maybe there's corruption involved in
and vaccines are stolen.
Let me just finish about the three C's. If corruption is involved, maybe the IBC is involved with maybe corrupt activities when they are getting all these kids. That would worry Kenyans a lot.
Okay.
Number two is corruption, cooperation between these two people.
Okay.
The Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto. Because they are in the same government and their cooperation, it is in question. So that is something also that my worries Kenya a lot, because Ruto looks very combatant. And obviously President Uhuru Kenyatta is finishing his race. And because he might fail because of the nature of his deputy, that is why he might not achieve all his plans. So the cooperation is another thing. And maybe number three, I'll put COVID at a distance. Third C.
Now, that might not decide the elections, but there could be, say for example, there are a number of issues that I can see here, and that could also maybe affect your bid as a member of parliament, or something that you need to win over youth and women. This is a very, very important point which some members of parliament have come to discover. One from Mombasa, I can't remember which part of Mombasa. He neglected to deal with the issue of women, and I think the youth were another issue. So when he lost, in fact, he made a statement and he said, look, I wish I had campaigned more on that. Now, I need to know your idea as far as that's concerned, and also the party issue, ODM's relationship with women. Because those two, youth and women, are now playing a vital role from Ghana to South Africa. The youth and women are a major threat to any political system now in Africa. Not in a bad way, but in changing the influences of it.
I agree with you. Kenya, as a country, got about 75% of youths. I think 77% of population in Kenya are youth. And my party, led by Honorable Raila Odinga, got a very good program for the youth. And what we are telling the youth out there is that ODM got a lot in store for them. One,
Okay.
yeah, the ODM plan when we form the next government to form like a youth commission.
Yeah.
And this will be led by the youths equally in both genders.
Okay.
Yeah, and the commission will be tasked to represent the youth when they are dealing with other organizations, etc., etc. Yeah. Number two, the ODM party plans to be rolling out 1,000 youths annually, leaders of local and global, and these leaders will be supported to get interns in bodies like United Nations and other internationally recognized bodies to help them also walk through the leadership steps as they get along. So all that it is. Yeah, in Africa, there's a lot of the motorcycle riders for commercial purposes. ODM plans to have a fund for the motorcycle riders, which is like a circle basis, where the funds will be helping these riders to maybe pay for insurance, or if there's a mortality somewhere, the funds will come and pay somebody.
Money, the budget.
That's right. Yeah,
is something that I've always I learned it from here. Where we are here in the West. The British, the Americans. That's why they left Afghanistan. When you look at the budget, when you look at the money, and the money is a problem. The money, the first thing you do is you find where the money is going to come from. And like I said, ODM, the budget is, the manifesto is very good.
It's very good, and I agree with you, Steve.
Money, where is the money? You are not telling people where the money is going to come from. It will have to come from taxes somewhere.
Correct. Correct.
It will have to come from somewhere. Now, the youth project is a good one as well, as you're mentioning it with the motorcycles and so on. But somewhere along the way, you need to say, you know what, maybe we shall do a huge fundraising and get at least £500,000 to help the youth do ABCD. If that comes in, then maybe people would say, okay, we'll do a fundraising, we'll help in doing that. But it's not something you
know, ODM has looked at the treasury and has looked at the figures. We know where Kenya is in terms of debts. And are looking at ways of reducing this. Because the youth that are riding borders, they also pay taxes.
Of course.
When they fuel the motorcycle, they pay. There's a levy goes to the government.
Of course.
So in terms of finances, I think that will be factored in. After the treasury has said this is what we can put to that particular project. But other projects like rolling out about 10,000 annually work internship, where the government is going to talk with the local employers and even international employers to employ them. When we talk about issues like where the government is going to provide like the boda that I've just said. And they're also going to build what is called national youth service centers in all the 47 counties of Kenya. And with the support of the devolved government, this we will be providing money to help run this NYS, which will be a kind of a disciplinary part of life as you move along your adulthood. So you get trained, like call it combat skills and survival skills, and all kind of military skills that you can get equivalent to that level.
Now there's something else, if I'm to jump in. And this is something which has been observed in Kenya, which hasn't been observed anywhere else. No, it is there in other African countries. The party partnership. The current parties in office are two. The previous parties regionally were also two. Now, I'm looking at, is ODM going to do any party alliances with any other party in order to be in power? Because when alliances are in power, this is what you are seeing with Uhuru and his colleague, is that the issues that you have in your manifesto, the other party may have a different issue in its manifesto. And the next thing you know, is that you're having a problem. They've tried it here in the UK when the
Yeah, I
Conservative
saw that,
and
and Lib
Labour,
Dem.
yeah, and the Lib Dem
Yeah.
went in office. The crashes were always on the policy. Now, the crashes have been on policy as well, as far as Uhuru
Yeah.
is concerned. ODM, if it's to go into an alliance with anybody, this crash is going to happen.
Well, Steve,
Is that in line? Is it existing somewhere?
I can't rule it out yet.
You can't.
Yeah, I cannot rule it out, and I can't say yes, it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still early.
Yeah,
The,
it's still
the,
early,
the official campaign hasn't started yet. Yeah, and looking at the dynamics how it goes, yeah, ODM is in a pole position.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
ODM is in a pole position at the moment, and going into the next elections, we will see when we get there. I can't say is a yes or no, but that will be discussed at a very high level of the party. And when we get that information, we'll let you know.
No, because you see, the earlier the better. The earlier predictions are showing that, okay, the polls haven't even started yet.
Yeah.
But already there is room for the maneuvering which is taking place.
Yeah.
And what is Uhuru's party was talking about something that might happen with Karim, one of the guys in Nairobi, in Mombasa. Now, if the whole thing is not dealt with it much earlier, you're more likely to find that the two who thought quickly to do an alliance will probably eat the whole meat.
No, I agree with you to some extent. That should worry the high level ODM decision making.
Okay.
Yeah, but at the moment, it's not something that they are thinking about. We are concerned and we are looking at the goal. We are clear what we want to get. And what we know how we want to achieve it.
Okay.
Yeah, if we get to, and we're also learning our competitors. We know their strengths. We've done a SWOT analysis on them, and we know where they are weak. So and I'm sure they also done the same on us.
Now there's an issue that. Uhuru Kenyatta, when he came to power, it's something to do with the rich. He actually made, this is his statement, there's too much inequality between rich Kenyans and poor Kenyans. This is a statement he made. And he said, Uhuru Kenyatta, at the beginning of his campaign, he said he was going to work very, very hard to make sure that these inequalities, he brings the gap down to these inequalities. He's about to go in less than a month, in less than 6 months' time. He hasn't achieved much of that. How can ODM capture on that? Because the whole issue of inequality is not just in Kenya, it's throughout the whole of Africa. How can ODM deal with that?
It is quite a shame that there is a massive gap between the have and the have-nots. We shouldn't be talking about that in the first place. If all the instruments were put in place. And Mheshimiwa Uhuru has tried. And again, he was working with a team that some of them were not very absolutely, and not honest and trustworthy with even public coffers money, and they ended up that there's a lot of money that were coming into the government projects, and this money got diverted to other activities. So I really can't say Mheshimiwa Uhuru hasn't tried. He has, and I'm proud of him. But what ODM now plan going forward to try and bridge that gap? And we are going to invest a lot on youth. And if you read on ODM manifesto about investment in people, and also
the
investing
human investment
the human capital, and also in youth in particular, where they are given like a tax holiday. When you start a business for a period of up to 7 years. Yes, government needs money to pay tax, but to encourage youth or to come up and do this business, they will be supported by way of having tax holiday. And we believe that will start bridging the gap, because if you empower the youth, they will help themselves and help other people coming along with them.
I think the whole thing should be in area by area basis, because you see the structure is such that you may get to your area, for example, and you have so many youth coming up, but then you go to another area east of Mombasa or Kano or some other areas north of the country, and there are no youth coming up. So if you put money to go to various areas, this is what I think United Arab Emirates did at the beginning. Not everybody, they were never that much because money was concentrated in one area. Then suddenly now, Qatar, United Arab Emirates and Kuwait are doing the same method, whereby they're looking at a regional basis where money is put in regional basis. And this is what at the beginning Uhuru had proposed, but as you are telling me, it never worked. Can the ODM work on the same system as it worked?
Yes, and this is how ODM are going to do it. We have 47 devolved governments.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That means in every part of the Kenya, there's a government within a government.
All right.
Yeah, within the Republic of Kenya. So the ODM will, like we had planned with BBI to increase the amount that are going to this devolved government.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
from the current 15% of the annual government revenue to about 30%. So imagine if 30% of the government collection goes to regional governments. That means the area governor has now the responsibility to implement the policies that are going to improve the livelihood of people, or the people within them. And doing that across the 47 counties, that means like the wealth is spread across the nation. And we strongly believe that, and in liaison with other plans that ODM has in place today with the youth and women, and just like rural development, that is going to improve a lot, and will also help to bridge that have and have-nots.
Now, something else that also very a Western diplomat once said, in fact, a British diplomat in Kenya, who says Kenya has more than 40 ethnic tribes. The group. There is inequality along ethnic lines, and this can be seen mainly during the elections. So said a Western diplomat based in Nairobi, Kenya, and that was a British diplomat who came up with that. And he says, look, that issue of ethnicity, if it's not dealt with nationalism, I keep saying that. How does ODM? Because when somebody looks at the beginning of ODM, in Western Kenya, as we said, with the Daluo, and then we look at the Kanu, and we look at the other parties, they're based, the tribal lines. This thing is affecting Ethiopia. It is affecting even Uganda to a certain extent now, although not that much. And Tanzania doesn't have it a lot, but Zambia and other parts. Ethnicity has its biggest problem, because we look at someone who is in power, we look at someone who's behind, who is the president, or who is heading a certain. Now people are looking at Raila Odinga and say, oh no, he comes from the other side of Kenya. Therefore, everybody from that side of Kenya should be joining. There is that belief, and then it is that element. No, we can't support him because of where he comes from. How does ODM handle this situation? Because if it's handled poorly, that's it.
Steve, I'll give you an example. And it's quite a shame that in African countries we look at our brothers and sisters based on your tribe, on your last name. When Kenya got independent, and during President Uhuru Kenyatta's father's reign, the Kenyatta first, Jomo. You could, and a friend of mine wrote this a similar thesis on his Facebook page. You could see, like during the reign of Uhuru Senior, you will see like the ministers then would have been, maybe the Minister of Health could have been the first doctor in Africa, Minister of Justice was maybe the first lawyer, and there was no like is a low no tribe, and they worked well, though Kenyatta himself wasn't very saint as a saint, but he had his own downfalls, but he didn't look at people based on your tribe a lot.
No, he didn't have. He didn't have a lot to look at.
Absolutely,
very few people.
I agree with you. Okay, now let's go to Moi reign. During Moi reign, this is when things actually started going down
Okay.
Yeah, Kenya, all the appointment or ministerial appointment actually went down to the dogs, where you are appointed minister based on your loyalty.
Okay.
Some minister didn't even know I'm a minister for which ministry.
Yeah.
He's just there because he is from the tribe of the president.
The president, yeah.
Yeah, and President Kibaki did also well. He also appointed people based on their CV,
Okay.
based on their abilities and what they've done and that they can do. President Uhuru Kenyatta, let me finish this one. It's an interesting scenario. President Uhuru Kenyatta himself, when they started the government with his deputy, they split, 50-50.
Yeah, yeah.
And he told his deputy, give me 50 names.
Yeah,
50% names of the people in the cabinet. And he also was going to give about 50%.
Yeah.
President Uhuru Kenyatta gave the face of Kenya, from Mombasa to Busia.
Okay.
Yeah, every part of Kenya had a representative.
All right.
His deputy, Ruto, gave people from his ethnic group only.
Okay.
So imagine this was a government where 50% is ethnic that.
Yeah.
So back to your question of this is having an impact on the election. Absolutely yes. Yeah, because of what Kenyans have seen.
Yeah.
Our person, if it is there, perhaps we will get help. Yeah, but that is being looked after or rather counter-checked by the coalitions we are talking about.
Yeah.
That was I said. Yeah, it will be decided at high level by the party. Yeah, so they will see. They will sit down and look at the numbers.
Okay.
We are going into election.
Now, going into a media, not media houses.
Yeah.
Going into public domain, for example.
Yeah.
And say this is what we have in public domain, and listen to the public domain voice coming from various people about the future governments of ODM and so on.
Yeah.
Couldn't this work more than this executive sitting down and coming up with ideas here and there? Because this is what happens here. This is what happens everywhere. The country's policies are seen.
Yeah.
You put them out there in the public domain. So if nobody is making any changes, then let them not complain next time that you did this without telling us. But we put it there in the public domain. This is what ODM should do.
Okay.
Yeah.
ODM, just like any other party,
Yeah.
they do get intelligence from the people on the ground.
Okay.
And that is the public domain you're talking about.
Yeah.
And we have a team that gathers intelligence and presents to the executive, to the high level.
Yeah.
If they overrule it, fine, but at least they're told this is what needs doing.
Okay.
Yeah, at this particular time. So back to your question again. Going back to public domain, should they listen to public domain more than listening to the people up there?
Yeah, because
I think it's a mix of both.
Yeah. This is the reason why BBI failed, because it was never put in public domain. They straight away thought it was an idea that would work.
No, Steve, I'll cut you short on that. BBI did not even get to the public participation point. Yeah, what happened? It was supposed now after the final draft is given, then it was going to public.
Okay.
So it is this final draft that the opponents went to court to stop it going to the public. What happened first was like, okay, they went to pick minds of people. Like say, okay, this is what we want to do. What do you think? Should we have a prime minister? And after the collection of all this data and information and analyzing and coming up with a good draft. So this draft was now to go to the public and say, guys, this is what we want. We want constitution changed, and
because
this
of
is
ABCD.
Because of ABCD. Do you agree or don't you? And it didn't get to the point where public fully participating.
Okay.
So it was cut short, and I disagree with you that
the
public.
I was reading the Daily Mail, and the whole issue came up. I said, look, if it had gone around, for example, not a few people in Nairobi, not a few people in Mombasa, in the major cities can decide what the whole country is meant to be. You go around the entire country, and then you said, okay, let's hear from Nyeri, let's hear from Kisumu, let's hear from Mombasa. Then you get the entire structure, because the way they stopped it was such, because the way it was going, it hadn't gone to the various areas. The few individuals had made decisions and said, oh, this is what is good for us. I think let's take it. That is why somewhere along the way they say, hey, no. You didn't go to Nyeri, you didn't go to Kandu, or you didn't go to Kisumu. Why are you saying that it's the whole country?
No, Steve, you know,
I think this is why people are saying, no, we are looking to
I agree with you, but you know, BBI actually, what went through is collection of signatures. Like 1 year signatures. Should we go for like a referendum or not? Yeah, and the IEBC got, I think, a certain number, maybe 1 million signatures. And after that, it triggers the IEBC to start now looking, because it should be IEBC that should be going out to the people, not the BBI Commission. So in my view, it didn't get to that point where it was going out now the people to ask them questions. ABC, XYZ, do you want us to do this rather than that?
Go to that level. Now, leaving that aside, there is something about Western influence, Western companies in Kenya. And Western people living in Kenya, some of who came from Zimbabwe and other parts of Africa, who are now established themselves. And you have Western companies, you have British, you have American and Japanese, and even now the Chinese have moved in. Now, how do you see the influence of this? Because we are looking at nearly 2 to 3 million non-Kenyans, non-Kenyan born, but who have legitimacy to vote as well as Kenyans, because they live in Kenya. And the influence they could have on the ordinary Kenyans in terms of, say, your employee, your boss comes and he says, listen, we need Uhuru Kenyatta. He's employing about 50 to 100 Kenyans. And he simply tells them, listen, we need Uhuru Kenyatta, or we need Raila Odinga. That is an influence alone. Those 100 people are so many. So the influence of the West and the foreigners who are based in Nairobi and other parts of Kenya, could this also have an impact on the elections?
Steve, Kenya, just like any other country, got ways and means of protecting its sovereignty. And you could be a diplomat allowed to live and work in Kenya, but there are some other rights that you are not allowed to do, like voting. But those who by birth, marriage, or other means are allowed to do so, they are treated purely as Kenyans, and they are even free to stand for any elective post they want. The Kenyan constitution doesn't bar anybody from voting. As long as you are entitled and eligible to, you should do it. So how these people who are non-tribal can sway election either way, that one where I said I think is very relative. Because it's very relative.
You don't believe influence has an impact on the elections? One or two individuals could have a bigger influence depending on how popular these people are. Could be footballers, could be boxers, could be runners like Kenyans, athletes. The structure I can see here is the companies, because there's places like Nyeri, this Rift Valley areas where you could actually think you're somewhere in Kent, here in the UK.
True.
So because of the white people living in those areas. Now, that's why I'm saying, look, when I look at those areas, they might not influence those in Mombasa and other areas, but they could also have a smaller impact or a bigger impact actually at the...
I can't rule that out, Steve. But what I know is that their political affiliation also just depends with who they talk to really, and their associates. So if, for example...
But ODM could use that.
Absolutely. Why not?
You could use that as part of your...
but it just depends how we approach them and sell them and look appealing to them. Obviously, we got to have them in heart and soul and write things down in our manifesto to include their interest. Which is there. ODM doesn't really look at somebody based on maybe where you come from, etc. He's a national party and a movement. So and again, to reiterate on that, how these people can maybe vote where I sit, I think depends purely on how they interact with the parties.
Okay.
Yeah, because they don't have that feeling that we've been neglected away from this end or from the other end of the country.
Yeah.
That they don't have that, but they do experience the day-to-day hardship that other Kenyans go
within
through.
the country.
Yeah. So they can make informed choice based on what they are seeing, what they experience, and maybe who they do business with.
How about the donor countries? The donor countries, the World Bank as well, and International Monetary Fund. These organizations are known to issue issues passing through journalists in a newspaper. I was reading an article of a journalist who wrote a very, very good piece in the Daily Mail of Nairobi, of Kenya, and he could clearly see that he is either being influenced or being bought by the bank to do something, to explain in details where Kenya should be going in terms of paying the loans, in terms of the industries that they have. The structure of it all could be seen, somebody is influencing that. When it comes to the debts and the loans and all that, the World Bank and International Monetary Fund have been known to have a say in some of these issues. How does ODM stand against this, for example, if it does happen? Because you might end up, ODM will end up in office tomorrow. And there's somebody from the World Bank is standing over there and he's saying, hey, no, if you don't take this loan, this is where you are going to end up.
I agree. The big boys, the big financial, those with big financial muscles, they can decide who to give money and who not to. But I think they've got a clear parameters that guide them of how to decide of who to give money if it comes to things of government support.
Okay.
And even where I come from, in my constituency, there are projects which are funded by World Bank. And my constituency is deemed to be in opposition area. So in my view, and again going by international ethics and code of doing business with other countries, I don't think the IMF and World Bank can just say because you are AD or ODM, we're not going to give you money.
No. Why I'm saying that is that these are side. They are side deals which are done. These are side issues which you can only learn about them sometimes from good politicians somewhere that an agreement had actually reached between so and so, or this and this happened, and at the same time, the money really appears there. You know that Kenyans owe this amount of money. We are now looking at the Chinese. The Chinese are creating a big influence in Africa because of the loans
perhaps
they've given us.
We could be looking at maybe their fare. Maybe you should ask their fare in case maybe somebody else becomes a president. What happens to the ongoing debts that they already have?
Who's going to pay them?
Who's going to pay them? And I'm sure ODM is aware of those debts. And we know that there must be some contract, underlying contract that led to us getting that money. We might not have agreed when that loan was taken, and we might not know where the money went when the loan was given. But it is a sovereign responsibility now to repay back that loan. So ODM can't just wake up from asleep and say, hey, we ain't doing this. I think those days are long gone. Where the president would just come and say, I am cancelling all this. However, maybe if the debt is too big and the country is strung into debt, what ODM can is to sit down with these lenders and say, I think the previous government overcommitted. We are supposed to pay this percentage of our annual turnover. But that is just too much because we got nothing left to pay the wages and to do development projects. Can we renegotiate maybe the period of this loan so we can pay less but much longer rather than saying, hey, we got to cut it off.
No, it won't work. Now, what kind of man would Raila Odinga be as president of Kenya? what kind of man is he?
Still.
What kind of? I mean, it's difficult, but
Okay.
I've met people who have met him.
Yeah.
I've met him at the border, Kenyan.
I can tell you, Raila Odinga is the best president that Kenya needs now. Yeah, in my,
you would say that
in my
he's the
view,
leader of your party.
in my view,
yeah.
he will do a lot of changes. Fundamentally,
Yeah.
that will have material impact on the lives of every Kenyans. And I'll give you just an example.
Has he got the experience?
Yeah, an example. When he was the road minister, yeah, during the time that they were in Kibaki one administration, yeah, there was a historic Thika road that he championed, and that is one of the best motorways in Kenya as we speak. Okay. Yeah, he actually even negotiated the LAPSSET. This was the building of railways from Ethiopia, Sudan, all the way to Uganda. He is some of the pioneers of that idea. Yeah, and it is a work in progress, even though when Uhuru and Ruto came in, their figures were inflated, etc. I don't want to get into nitty-gritties. Yeah, but he did that. Yeah, he is the AU chair of infrastructure in all of the Africa. Yeah, and he is overseeing the development of a lot of projects, not only in Kenya. Yeah, in Congo, there's a bridge that linking Congo, Brazil and Congo DR, and those are some of the projects that he's overseeing. Okay. Yeah, the Ethiopian dam that would supporting Sudan, Ethiopia, and I think and Egypt.
Yeah, but the key thing. Okay.
To answer your question, Honorable Raila Odinga, number one, it's not somebody who is vindictive. Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't have those. Yeah, and number two, he is not vengeful. Okay. Yeah, he can't come up and say, no, I really don't want you. Yeah. And these are things that can be proved. Yeah, he's been denied election like 3 times. That somebody like me and his supporters believe he won, but he still stood up and say, guys, yeah, Kenya is bigger than Raila Odinga, and he went and shook hands with Uhuru Kenyatta. Yeah. He sat down with Mwai Kibaki in 2007. Yeah, he's somebody who his main aim, what he wants, is to see a Kenya that everybody is proud of. Yeah, a Kenya that is doing better. Actually, sometimes he says, if he was a president maybe 20 years ago, Kenya would be in the same level with Singapore. Yeah. Because we were peers with Singapore at independence. Yeah. But he's got that dream, and he really is just keen to see Kenya move forward in a peaceful way. He doesn't like violence. He's not a violent guy. And that's why you see, even after his election is rigged, he could still when they went come up and tell people, calm down.
And demonstrated, yeah. I remember that. But the issue now that we more or less look at, the age issue comes in, where we say, well, somebody would have probably been best president at 40 or 50. But when it goes beyond a certain level, then he no longer has the strength and the power and so on. We are seeing this with the Bin Laden, with the current president in America, and so on. Wouldn't this be an issue because how old is he now? By the time he's in somewhere, will be in his late 70s or something like that.
Yeah, he's born for 1945, I'm sure. Yeah. So that makes him just under 80. Yeah. So in terms of age, initially people thought like, he's getting too old. But having seen Trump, who is his peer, having seen Joe Biden, Joe Biden is his peer. I think we are more confident that he will come in and do a Mandela moment. Do a one term and hand over a good Kenya for the coming generations.
Now, I want to end on a note. The issue that is disturbing Kenya again is to do with the Constitution. And that is something about Article 1.1, Section 1, which aims to preserve the cultural laws and human rights laws. These two issues are going on right now in the Kenyan, and it is really affecting. And Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania are watching. Where does the cultural law and the human rights law begin and end? Where does one begins and the other ends? There is a crash between culture and human rights, and
Yeah.
there is a crash between church and culture.
Yeah.
Conflicts over women's property rights, gender violence, the challenges to the male traditional authority, the government, the government of Kenya is being challenged, and African governments are watching this. Female circumcision is banned, but it's defined in certain cultures as a tribal issue. Now, what is next? ODM was in office. The church versus culture is a major issue in Kenya, that Uhuru Kenyatta has decided not even to touch it. He's left it for the next president to deal with. I'm sure somewhere around Oginga Odinga might find it difficult, where male men are saying, look, if you give the women the same rights as us, when we marry the women, culturally a man is supposed to be in control of his household and so on, and then a woman, the equality laws are coming in. I mean, we are seeing this, and in Uganda as well, the president didn't want to touch it, the president of Uganda. Sudan is having something similar. Now, African cultures are facing a huge problem. It's existing in Ghana as well, and Nigeria as well. How is ODM going to handle this?
Yeah, Steve, you've mentioned a few countries and their leaders avoiding that kind of conversation.
Yeah.
Kenya got over 40 tribes.
Yeah.
And each tribe perhaps got a different way of living, cultural way of living and tradition. Yeah. So it is very difficult or extremely difficult to try and find something that works for all.
Yeah, I know.
Having said that,
Yeah.
there are some activities that have been banned. There are things like female circumcisions. Yeah, they're taken out.
Male violence against women. Seen as
My tribe, Luos, they used to remove the 6 lower lid. I have all mine. No, some of these cultures, I think it's best to let them die naturally. Well, when people become civilized, rather than going into them and start kind of putting laws to prevent something doing that.
No,
however, I think last time I didn't mention about the Wamboyo Tino case. And that purely was where there's a conflict of the human rights and the cultural things. Now where the Umira Kagere, the Luo clan, were like, he's our son, and so by our tradition, he got to be buried. He's the son of this soil.
We are watching that. We're watching that case in Uganda. It was so interesting.
Absolutely.
And the end results. Education, obviously. She lost the case.
She lost the case. And I think there's also another bill that President Uhuru passed to allow men to have more than one wife. So
the pressure came from the traditionalists.
Absolutely, because traditionally, men are kind of, depending on which tribe you come from, and also we got a strong presence of Muslim. Men are allowed to marry more than one wife. So there's no way you're going to put it in a constitution that is a one man, one woman. Develop one like where we are. Fine.
But
we get by.
The thing is, this is why Uhuru Kenyatta didn't push this, because if it's going to be, if you are not going to remove it from the constitution, a certain man walked out of court after beating his wife, because traditionally they were meant to be he's supposed to discipline his wife. So she went to the police, reported him, and then it came back and said, look, no, traditionally I'm supposed to do this. Then the human rights law comes up, and the two courts are faced with that. Then we have the Christianity, where they say the Christian faith is saying you got to marry one woman, and then the traditional laws in certain parts are saying no, you need to have 2 or 3, depending on your income. You can have 10 or 20.
I agree with you. But there's a part you mentioned about beating up a woman. I don't think, and I strongly believe, there's no law anywhere in this land.
No, traditional laws are unwritten. Most of them are
That
unwritten.
allows.
They are not written laws.
No,
yeah?
I
But
know they are unwritten. They are not
your father is
coded.
not supposed to beat you up.
No, they are
Your
not.
father is not supposed to.
I agree with
you
you,
up.
Steve. They are uncoded. But yeah, I think it's not allowed to beat your wife. No, that one I disagree.
You're not allowed to discipline your wife.
No, you're not discipline. Yeah, you can sit down and have a conversation. Yeah, if you're not happy, tell her, I don't like you on this and that, and then you talk.
No, but
yeah, and even beating. And my tradition, I think, is not beating up. Yeah, you need to bring the wife
it's not
in front.
It's called disciplining.
No. I don't think you're allowed.
Yeah.
You got to bring the wife in front of like a village leaders. Yeah, and that is like the local court. Yeah, and you say your word, she gotta say her word, and the elders would decide.
That is if she's left the house. That is if, according to that tradition. That's if she's gone, and then you have to bring her back or something like that. I mean, listen. I've been going through this church versus culture laws versus human rights law, and cultural laws are unwritten, but they're similar. Then you find that even the human rights laws are written. Now the church laws are unwritten. Now there is the culture versus church.
The church,
where the marriage issue, because this is where the conflict is. And Uhuru Kenyatta was asked this question, and I was looking forward for him to answer.
What was his answer?
No. He said no. Because his opinion. He said if he gives his opinion as president of Kenya, he was going to have a backlash on his opinion, because the church has a right under the law. Cultural laws have got a right under the laws. Gender and gender violence and all these are mentioned. Property rights, all these are all part of what the Kenyan constitution has a written constitution on one side, and so do most African countries. They have written constitutions. But we come to cultural laws where we only learn, your father's name, your what, you're supposed to kneel down against the elders, and those small laws where you even wheel a bicycle in a village. But my dad one time told me, when you meet an elder on the road,
you stop.
You stop and greet the elder. That's one thing. Secondly, if he has a bicycle, you make sure that if you are going in the same direction, unless you're going in another direction, if you're going in the same direction, get a man's bike as an elder, as a young person, and pull that man's bike for him until where he goes. You are not supposed to pass him. Then they know, that's so-and-so's son. That's Steve Mulindo's son passing an elder and is going in the same direction. No, you get a beating from your dad for that. You get disciplined for that. So if the elder goes and says, I was pushing my bicycle and your son passed me. Say, what? My son? So what I'm saying, these are unwritten laws. And these are unwritten laws that we've grown up with. But now they're facing a structure. Just like here. You're not supposed even to discipline your own son or daughter. Otherwise you end up behind bars.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's what I'm saying. This place is facing. How's India going to handle that?
Okay, Steve. I think that is hard to answer. Because of the differences we all have.
Okay.
ODM is a national
unfortunately, time has run out of us. And I just want to acknowledge Tadeo Kakungulu Biekwaso, who is watching. Tadeo Biekwaso, and I think several other people who are in the chat room who have been watching and are enjoying the show. It's been a pleasure having you here, and I want to wish you all the best during the elections. And maybe we'll have some kind of champagne when you win.
You will
come around and pay you a visit in Kenya.
Come around to Gunja.
Gunja, and then they pay you a visit. And I hope you do a very good job as a member of parliament in Kenya. I just want to say thank you very much for being with us on today's show. And I hope we'll be together again next week for another edition of Africa Speaks. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
At World Remit, we understand what the journey is about, how it can sometimes take a little distance to bring us a little closer together. With ways to save more when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can